somehow, something good has to come out of all of this. I mean, at the very least, maybe Jamie will remember something, some little detail about that real estate agent that will link him up to the cocaine ring, or hopefully Susan Bates' murder.
You should have seen his mother's face when I told her that Vince was the real estate agent. If she can't make him remember, no one can. You know what I'd like to do? Go out to dinner. Hit a movie or something, you know, something normal.
Something normal? Oh, who even remembers what that is? But I guess you're right. We should at least try to be normal. Thanks. Oh, no.
If that's another cop, I'm heading for the window. I can't take any more tonight.
Who is it?
It's Vicki Buchanan. Allison, please. May I come in?
Allison, open the door.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Dan.
but I heard that Dan was with you. I needed to talk to both of you.
That's all right.
Danny.
I'm sorry about tonight, Vicki.
Well, it was foolish, but I thank you for the attempt. What I really need to know from you is if this, the person who's dead now, if he said anything as to where my baby might be.
No. I told the police, Vicki. He laughed. It was a scam.
I know, but Danny, please try and think again. Maybe he was pretending that it was a scam, but it really wasn't. Maybe he really did know where Jessica was. I mean, did he say anything about where he came from or what he planned to do with the money after he got it? Please, I don't know anything.
I'm sorry,
Please.
Vicki. He called Asa because no one made a ransom demand. He figured he could cash in.
Oh, God, for a minute I had some hope. I had some sort of dim hope. Oh, my baby. Where is she? What's happened to her? Oh, God.
How can I keep doing this to Vicki? I have to give the baby back.
He didn't mean to come over here and break down in front of you.
Don't worry about it. I mean, it's understandable.
I was just so hoping that that man, I don't even know his name.
Vince Robeson.
I was hoping maybe he had a partner or a girlfriend or somebody who really did have Jessica.
Well, I know he's not connected with the kidnapping. I mean, but he is the guy who killed Susan Bates, and he's framing me for murder.
Oh, really?
I can't prove it, though. No one else was there when he was laughing about it and getting ready to kill me.
Oh, you poor thing. Danny, thank you. Thank you very much for at least trying to save my daughter, even though it was foolhardy.
Hey, I know. I tried to get Asa to call the police. It's a good thing Allison had the presence of mind to alert my dad. Allison, are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm just, Mrs. Buchanan, I'm so overwhelmed. I feel awful for you. I just don't know what to say.
There's nothing that can be said. It is an unspeakable, terrible anguish. And it's not going to get better until Jessica comes back to us. Could I trouble you for a glass of water, please?
Oh, of course. Oh, God, I could end her anguish tonight. I have to.
I'm very sorry, Dan, that we haven't been in any kind of shape to support you and Larry through your ordeal.
Oh, Vicki, please. Neither of us expects anything. Just your love. And we know we have that. I want you to know we're praying for you every night.
I'm afraid there's no question now but that whoever took Jessica simply wanted a baby and not the money. And I suppose in some way that's almost a comfort, because at least now we can hope that she's being well taken care of and loved. Although I have to wonder that somebody who could sneak into our house and literally steal our baby from us, are they even capable of love? You know, I have to try very, very hard to believe that Jessica is well. Because if I didn't, this would be so totally unbearable.
Oh, Mrs. Buchanan, please, you mustn't give up faith. Please don't.
Allison, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Make you cry, for heaven's sakes. I think I should go.
No, Vicki, you don't have to go.
Yes, I do. And I'm going to go to the Banner because I've got to start concentrating on something else.
I'll drive you to the office.
No, Dan, it's not
Vicki,
necessary.
Please. You're very upset. It would make me feel better if you'd let me. You can send someone back here for your car.
Thank you. I think I will take you up on that offer. I'm very sorry, Allison. I didn't mean to come barging over here and depress you like this.
No, this is a topic that is on my mind a lot.
I hope it'll be over soon.
I hope so, too. But please, don't give up hope.
Thank you.
Allison, will I see you later?
No, Dan, I think that we should call it a night for tonight.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Hi, Mom, it's me.
Oh, Allison. Oh, I have such a day trying to get the baby to sleep. She's so fussy.
Well, she's okay, isn't she?
Oh, she's delightful. I hope this call is about her.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, I'm coming out to New Jersey to see you guys.
Oh, good. Because I have given this a lot of thought, and I think we should have a very long talk.
Well, Mom, I wasn't planning on staying for a long talk. Actually, I just called to ask you to please have the baby ready so she can leave with me tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, so I'll see you soon, okay, Mom? Bye.
Allison, wait a minute. I want...
Little Jessica, you're going to be back with your parents tonight because they love you and they miss you very much.
Dan or his dad could have been killed tonight. Which makes Asa Buchanan sound kind of foolish, doesn't it?
Well, I think he's awfully upset. I don't know if they think he's really thinking clearly. But that's not the subject. We were talking about Vince Rose.
We have covered that subject more than once. I mean, I hardly ever saw the guy except for that night.
Why are you fighting me on this? Jamie, I'm just asking you to think back. With all this new information, he might have said something that didn't seem important at the time, but might have been.
Well, he didn't say, oh, by the way, I run a crack ring as well as sell real estate.
Was Susan Bates mentioned at any time?
Of course not.
Why do you say of course not?
I mean, I read the papers. She was an inmate at Statesville, right? She was supposedly used to process the coke into crack. So the last thing he would do is talk to me about one of the inmates he was using, especially if he was going to kill her.
Did he offer you coke?
I don't do coke.
I didn't say you did. I asked you if he offered it to you.
No, he did not. He talked about how boring Elmo's was, and he talked about the backstreet bar.
How could he take you back to a place that was being used as a crack factory? That's what's so upsetting about it.
Do you have any real evidence that this Vince guy was connected at all to the crack ring or the Bates murder?
Only what he told Dad.
Huh.
What are you thinking?
Well, I hate to say this, but, I mean, suddenly, Asa gets a call for $1,000 or $1 million, and Dan is the one who delivers it. Isn't it a little too convenient that this is the same guy who killed Susan Bates?
What does that mean?
Well, I just can't help but thinking that maybe Dan made it up. I mean, he's desperate. He's facing prison, and, I mean, there's been no new clues on his case. And if I was in his position, maybe I'd think of the same thing. I mean, the guy is dead. He can hardly refute Dan's testimony.
I guess. Thank you to you.
Sweetheart,
Clint, hi.
I called home. They said you were here.
Yes. Actually doing some work, believe it or not.
I just came from Rafe's office. I gave him hell for bringing up that Nikki Smith theory.
Oh, Nikki Smith, that's right.
Yeah.
Did you convince him to leave it alone?
I don't think so. But I do suggest that you refuse to talk to him if he tries to bring it up again.
Well, but that could lead to Captain Moore dragging me in for an interrogation or something
I will
like
not
that.
let that happen.
Clint, you here to work? You know, we could turn out half a dozen newspapers today with the three of us here.
I'm sorry about this added burden, Tom.
It's not a burden at all. Well, shall we get to it?
I'm going to go home.
Well, Vicki,
I want to be with my children. I really have lost my concentration for work anyway. I'll see you later, darling.
I won't be long.
Okay.
Love you.
I love you, too. Thank you for putting up with me, Tom.
well, Vicki, it's...
Maybe tomorrow I'll actually do some work, okay?
Vicki finally gets away from some of her problems, and she was beginning to enjoy herself. And all of a sudden, she's hit again with this Nikki Smith business and zap right back into her depression.
Well, wait a second. You trying to tell me how to talk to my wife?
Oh, hi, Mom. So,
Allison,
the baby ready to go?
Nancy isn't going anywhere.
On General Hospital.
Don't tell me how much you've investigated Lavery's background. Either you're a rotten detective or blinded by love. I'm not sure which. All I know is you've never messed up this bad in the past. Not even when you were...
Not even what? Not even when we were in love? Well, maybe this involvement is slightly more powerful.
I cannot wait to get this ring on your finger. Anna, will you marry me?
I can't believe you don't have any doubts about this man. He has connections with an organization that doesn't allow any of its members to leave.
Certainly not until we've had a long talk.
Mom, I told you that I didn't have time for a long
Oh,
talk.
no. You don't have time for your baby either.
Please, I really don't need this.
Need what? My interference?
Yeah, something like that?
Oh, I see. Well, you certainly needed me when you arrived on my doorstep with a baby that I didn't even know that you had had. Well, would you like to take a look at your daughter?
Not only would I like to take a look at her, but I would like to take her home with me.
Home? You found an apartment and a full-time babysitter?
No, Mom, I'm still at the waterside, and I'm going to get someone who will be able to take very good care of her.
Oh, I see. And you're going to take care of her yourself when you can manage to be around?
Of course.
Don't of course me. Your behavior is very disturbing.
Why? Why? What have I done?
It's what you haven't done. Allison, you have not been here to see that baby once, and now you come waltzing in here and you want to take her away.
Well, don't I have every right? I mean, I am her mother.
Well, then start behaving like one. You certainly haven't up
Look,
until
Mom,
now.
I'm sorry. Listen, I don't want to argue, okay?
I have come to love this baby very much in a very short time. Are you rejecting her because her father is Mitch Lawrence?
Please don't talk about him. Please, just let me take the kid.
The kid? She has a name, Allison. Her name is Nancy. Why do you behave like she's some stranger instead of your own flesh and blood?
Listen, my buddy, pal of mine, friend.
Hey, first, let go of my sweater, and second, what the hell is wrong with you?
I just had a little discussion with your mother, wherein she tells me that you came up with the bright idea that I made up Vince's confession about Susan Bates.
She asked about it, and I said it was something somebody could do under the circumstances. I didn't mean to implicate you.
I can't believe you. Every time I turn around, you're making a connection. But you can't remember faces, and you say you didn't see any evidence of the backstreet bar as a crack ring.
What are you trying to say?
I don't know, but I can't help but wonder about you, Jamie, starting all the way back to when I asked you to get your mother to be my lawyer, and I found out from her you never even asked. It seems to me, buddy, that all the way down the line, you've been talking, being my friend, but you're not doing a damn thing to help me out.
It's not my fault. You're in a jam. I think I'm going to forget this whole conversation happened.
You're very good at forgetting things, Jamie. Names, faces, anything and everything to do that connects up with Vince and that crack ring.
Not another word, you hear? Now, I'm sorry. You can't find a way to get out of this mess. But as far as my mother's question, I didn't mean to point suspicion at you. I mean, I'm sure that guy did kill Susan Bates and plant the tapes. I'm just sorry he managed to shoot himself before the cops had a chance to talk to him.
Are you sure about that?
I am your friend, Danny. And right now, you need friends. So I'm going to walk out of here before you push me too far, and I can't forget this nonsense.
Yes, Briggs, wrap it and print. Tom.
Yeah?
I'm sorry I went off a while ago about Vicki.
I did the same thing. It's my fault. I'm sorry. It did sound so I was presuming to tell you how to deal with her.
But you had managed to get her mind off things, and I blew it.
Well, you're under as much pressure as she is. You just happen to handle it a little better.
Sometimes, maybe.
Oh, I was with Vicki there, and when Rafe Garrison questioned her about Nikki Smith, I told him to lay off eventually.
I appreciate that. But I don't think that the police are just going to let her drop. How to convince them? I just don't know how to convince them.
No, I was thinking about that. When Vicki was napping, you know, she was waiting for you to come home.
Yeah?
Well, the reason for her staying up, mainly, was to tell you about the conversation she had with Maria. Now, if the police knew about that...
What's your point?
Well, she kept thinking about this conversation with Maria, and it was on her mind all the time. As a matter of fact, she said she was dreaming about it, right? Well, that means there couldn't have been any lapse, huh?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me think about this. You know, I hadn't put those two together before. It was the very day of the kidnapping that Maria hit Vicki with the news that Cord was my son. Vicki finally told me about it. She said that the reason she hadn't mentioned it was because she was tired. And she went to bed, and then I discovered the baby was missing.
Yeah, well, go on. I still don't quite get your point.
Only that I hadn't thought about it before, Tom. Vicki received the rather shocking news that Cord was my son the day of the kidnapping. Which means that she wasn't a contented, untroubled woman I've been saying she was.
Oh, Mom, please don't make a big scene out of this.
Oh, I'm making a scene because I'm concerned about her welfare, not to mention yours.
Why are you treating me like I'm a child? I'm not.
Well, you are certainly behaving like one. Listen, I know you were tricked by him. I know it is...
Why are you bringing up Mitch Lawrence again?
Because I'm trying to show you how illogically you're behaving.
Well, thank you for your help, but I don't need it anymore. Therefore, if you will just let me take the baby, everything will be fine.
Why are you so nervous? Look how tense you are.
Mother!
I want to keep my granddaughter until you have a place for her.
Well, I want the baby, and I want to take her tonight, and I am not going to leave without her. Does this mean you're going to physically prevent me from taking her?
Look at you, Allison. You're in no shape to walk out of here with that baby.
Oh, Mom, just please stop.
Honey, what is it?
Nothing.
What is it? Maybe I can help.
No, nobody can help.
Allison, what's wrong?
Nothing. Look, Mom, my life is changing, okay? And I'm having a few problems adjusting. But everything's going to be fine, okay? I really need her to be with me. I feel that she's my responsibility.
Honey, I'm not afraid of responsibility, and believe me, you're in no shape to walk out that door right now.
No, I'm just tired.
Oh, sweetheart, listen. Go pick up your baby. Hold her in your arms. Look at that darling face. Oh, you'll feel so much better.
Okay. Mom, could you make me some tea?
Sure. Are you hungry, too?
No, I just want some tea.
Clint, you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It's just what you were saying about Vicki.
You mean about Maria telling Vicki that Cord's your son?
Yeah. Just a few hours before Jessica was taken. It must have put Vicki into a real tailspin.
Yeah, of course.
It could have been shocking enough to... No, I can't believe that. I won't believe it.
Clint, you knew Maria told Vicki about Cord before. How come you're so upset about it now?
Because it just hit me, Tom. That's the kind of a shock, finding out that Cord is my son, that could turn Vicki into Nikki Smith.
I'm very glad I caught up with you at the Banner, Cord. And I certainly appreciate you driving me home. I hope Tina doesn't mind.
Oh, no, of course not. I just wish that there was more I could do for you than give you a lift home from work. If you like, I can stick around till Clint gets back.
Well, that'll probably be quite a while. I think he's going to want to put the paper to bed tonight.
He told me that going back to work at the Banner might help to ease your mind for a little bit.
It was very good for me to be at the Banner. And I would have been just fine if Clint had...
What happened?
Nothing. And everything. Oh, why? Why Clint? Why Clint of all the people that I need? I'm sorry, hon. It's nothing that you can help. It's nothing that I can even help. He just said something. He really was trying to make me feel better, but it hit me like a ton of bricks.
Well, what did he say? Vicki, whatever it was he said, I'm sure he had no intention of hurting you like this.
No, he didn't. He reminded me that there are people in this town who are now starting to think that I kidnapped my own baby.
I brought the tea and Allison, you bring that baby back here. Get out of that car this minute.
Are you yelling? You're going to wake up all the neighbors, make them think somebody's being murdered or something?
Going with that baby in the middle of the night.
It is 8:15, Mother.
Well, it is. Now, we are going to discuss right now where you are going to live.
I told you, at the Waterside Inn.
You cannot raise a baby in a hotel.
Well, then I will move into my own place in a couple of weeks.
Oh, and who's going to take care of her while you're working?
Well, I'll find someone. And if I can't find someone, I will put her in daycare. There are a lot of working mothers who do that. She'll be with other babies and professional people who know how to take care of her.
Well, that'll be the day when somebody professionally loves a baby. You don't pay people to love someone.
What other alternative do I have?
You're looking at her. Now, you sit right down here, and we're going to talk about this clearly before you go jumping off a bridge. Now, there is no reason to leave her with strangers when I'm right here.
Well, you're here, and I'm in Landview.
Well, I don't have to stay here. I'm portable. I'll get rid of this place. We'll get a house together in Landview.
Mom, please stop all of this nonsense. Now, I didn't want to tell you this before, but since you're going to go changing your life, I might...
Listen, it's not my life here that counts. It's hers.
Well, I've decided to put her up for adoption. Yes. There's an agency in Landview, and they have found a very nice, professional couple who will give the baby the kind of life she deserves.
She deserves to be with her own family.
No, Mom, I have made up my mind. I am going to do what I think is best for the baby.
Will you stop? Just stop talking about her like the baby? Like she's some kind of an appliance? You keep referring to her as though she isn't even your own child.
She isn't. She is Mitch Lawrence's child. I mean, at least she's half of his. And I don't want anybody to ever know I had his child.
What, are you suggesting Nikki Smith emerged and kidnapped your baby? I'm sorry, I find that impossible to believe.
Nikki Smith is impossible to believe, Tom. If she was standing right here in front of you, she'd be impossible to believe, and impossible to not believe.
You know, it strikes me Vicki's a very strong-minded woman.
Well, she is and she isn't. When Vicki suffers a severe emotional shock, like, for example, finding out that Cord is my son, and then discovering that I don't even know about it, it's a perfect setting.
Of course, Vicki is depressed. She's angry, but she seems to be holding up very well.
Tom, I would just love to agree with you. With every muscle, every fiber in me, I would love to agree with you. I would love to wipe the slate clean, the whole idea of a Nikki Smith. I want Nikki Smith dead and buried as much as I want my wife and my baby alive and well.
I know that, Clint. Of course you do.
All right. A red-headed woman was seen in the nursery of the hospital the night that Jessica was born. You don't know how I have been praying, Tom, for a substitute nurse, a red-headed substitute nurse, to show up. That has not happened. All right, then the police lab finds red hair. Hair from a wig like Nikki used to wear on the baby's crib.
That does not spell Nikki Smith. That spells a careless kidnapper with a red wig.
Tom, you are reacting to this the same way I did at first. I can't do that anymore. I have to face the facts. I have to try and find a way to get at the truth.
Clint, the idea of Vicki having a mental breakdown just long enough to kidnap her own baby, I'm sorry, that is ludicrous.
Damn it, Tom. Something happened to that baby. Now took her. Now who?
All right, now, Clint, Vicki's the woman you love. How can you even think she'd do a thing like this? Huh?
Tom, you weren't here. And before you jump on me about whether or not I love my wife enough to trust her, this is not about Vicki Buchanan. What do you know about, really know, about multiple personalities?
Well, I know it happens. I know it is real, but...
Real, yes. Nikki Smith is real. Nikki Smith is as real as you and I. When she was here, when she existed, she lived inside Vicki Buchanan's body. But that's the only thing that they had in common. Nikki was a manipulator. She was a very desperate woman who would sacrifice anything or anyone to get what she wanted. And the thing that she wanted most was permanent control.
Permanent control?
Yes, permanent control of Vicki Buchanan, of her body, her soul, her mind, her money, her husband. Nikki wanted to be Vicki and still be herself. Now let's just take it one step further. Vicki, whom Nikki despises and envies, has a baby and is very happy. That's enough right there, Tom, to drive Nikki to do whatever she has to do to destroy Vicki's life.
Clint, I hear what you're saying, but I'm sorry. It still sounds like science fiction to me.
You want to know just how desperate and how good Nikki was? She fooled the world. The world, Tom, at least the court, into believing that she was Vicki Buchanan, and she divorced me. If she didn't live inside Vicki Buchanan's body, she would kill Vicki Buchanan in a New York minute. So don't tell me that she would not kidnap our baby. Excuse me.
Nobody will ever love this baby the way that I... Listen, Allison, if you don't want the baby in your life, it's all right. I'll raise her. I'll raise her as my granddaughter. She'll be Nancy. Oh, Perkins. Oh, honey, don't give this baby to strangers.
The baby has to go back to Landview. That's where she belongs, Mom.
Where does she belong in Landview?
This couple, Mom, they're great. They've got lots of money. They'll give her everything.
I don't care how much money they have. You can't take this baby away from me now. It's not fair.
Well, maybe it's not fair to you, but it is fair to her, and it is fair to me.
Listen, is this my fault? Am I the one who forced you into Mitch Lawrence's arms?
Oh, God, Mom, don't you see? If I have her around, she's always going to be reminding me of that evil man.
Allison, look at her. Look at this little baby. She's living proof that good can come out of the worst evil. Allison, don't take her away from me.
You know, Tina is always telling me that the thing she regrets most of all is, well, her involvement with Mitch Lawrence and all that Nikki Smith stuff they tried to pull on you.
Yes, she's told me that, too.
I'm sorry, Vicki, but it's real hard for me to get a grasp on this Nikki Smith person.
Well, it's a very long and complicated issue, Cord. But I can tell you one thing for sure. I know that Nikki did not come back. Because if she had, I would have known that something had happened, and I never got that feeling the night that Jessica was taken. You see, always before, whenever Nikki had come out, I would know, because I would be someplace else. Or days would have gone by, or I'd not know how I had gotten to where I was, or where I'd gotten the clothes that I was wearing, or even where I was. See, it's very difficult to explain, but after Nikki had, well, come out, I always had a sense of time lost, of days, hours, just missing out of my life, and I never had to look at a watch or check a newspaper for the date to know that. There was a gap within me that I just sensed. It's a very distinct feeling of knowing something has happened to you, but not knowing what. It's very confusing. It's like trying to find your way in the dark. And it is a feeling that I will never, as long as I live, ever forget. And I know that I did not feel that way the night that Jessica was taken. I sat here at this desk, I drank a cup of tea. I was waiting for Clint to come home so that I could tell him what I had just learned from Maria about you. Court, I only dozed off for less than 2 hours. How on earth is it possible that Nikki could have come out and taken my baby and left her God knows where? And come back just in time for Clint to wake me up? It's not possible. I would have known that something had happened.
You know, Vicki, you just found out that your husband had this new past. Now, that's a whole connection that you never even dreamed of. I can just imagine how painful that must have been for you.
But it wasn't really. I mean, it certainly might have been a great deal more painful if Maria's child had turned out to be anyone other than you. But, darling, if you ask Clint Buchanan to sit down and write out a description of the son that he always wanted, it would be you. It would be Cordero Roberts. And that certainly made the news a good deal easier to take.
Well, thanks. That's real nice to hear. You know, ever since I came here to Landview, I always had this feeling that Clint was, I don't know, family. And I always had the same feeling about you, too.
Well, I think that you and he have known each other from the start. It's just such a shame. It should have been a very happy event, you learning about each other. And it's too bad that it had to come at the time that it did.
Are you listening to me, huh? The one thing that you can always count on is the love you share with Clint. I mean, that's the first thing I noticed about you two right off.
I don't think I could survive any of this without him, you know.
That's why all this Nikki Smith stuff is so hard to believe. Because I know that together, you and Clint can handle anything.
One Life to Live will continue in a moment.
Well, I've been told anytime Nikki Smith appeared in the past, there was all sorts of evidence. No, not a clue.
Well, doesn't the missing baby mean something?
Yes, it means there's a crackpot out there trying to get rich quick. But to think that Vicki had anything whatsoever to do with the kidnapping is...
Tom, you care a lot about Vicki, don't you?
I don't like to see friends of mine maligned unjustly. Yes, and I do care. That lady's been under a lot of stress lately.
Well, they both have been. And they will be until that baby is returned.
Well, who wouldn't be?
Tom, look, I'm not saying that Vicki realized what happened, but look at it this way. She was all alone. She claims that she went to sleep on the couch, and, well, maybe that was her way of Nikki controlling her and making her think that she was asleep when she was really punishing Vicki.
Realize how ridiculous that sounds?
Well, something happened to Jessica. Now, what if Clint is right, that it was the other half of his wife?
You're grasping at straws.
You're going to stand by Vicki no matter what, aren't you?
Well, Vicki and Clint been through a great deal lately. And they both need someone to stand by them.
Well, I think Clint has more to lose, the baby and his wife. He's in a lot of trouble. You're right. I think that we have to stand by them and make sure they get all the support that they need. Good night, Tom.
All right. All right, Nancy can stay here, but just for now. So I don't want you to get overly attached to her.
What a ridiculous thing to say. How can I help that?
Mom, you're only making this harder on yourself. I still think that adoption is the only answer.
Don't say that. It tears my heart out to think of leaving her with strangers.
Maybe you should just pretend like I never really had a baby.
What does that mean?
Well, pretend like she's the neighbor's baby. All right, listen, Mom. I have to get back to Landview, and I'm going to talk to a lawyer and find out all the legal details. And then I'm going to be back for Nancy.
How long will you be gone?
Just 1 or 2 days. Good night, Mom.
Dear Lord, how could such a tiny, innocent person cause so much grief? Oh, how could she think of giving up her own baby?
On Ryan's Hope. For Max and Siobhan, a romantic journey leads to mystery.
This is a fantasy.
And danger. Ryan's Hope. Weekdays.
Colin,
Oh, hi, Mom.
are you just getting home from the banner?
Yeah, I tell you, it's been a hell of a day.
Oh, do you have time for a chat?
Yeah, give me a chance to unwind a little bit. Say, they started with a bang, and my head's been ringing ever since. I just got back from Landfair. I dropped Vicki off at home after work.
Tom says that she's pretty upset.
Can you blame her? I mean, not to mention the kidnapping, but now Clint's starting to... Well, you know the whole story about this Nikki Smith thing.
Yes, I do.
Well, I guess that Clint has been reminding Vicki that some people are starting to think that maybe Nikki Smith kidnapped Jessica. That poor woman. I mean, as soon as she heard that, she hit the ceiling.
Tom said that he and Clint got into it. Tom, of course, thinks it's ridiculous, and Clint was saying that, well, the obvious, that if you haven't seen Nikki, you just wouldn't believe it.
Oh, come on. You're not telling me that Clint really thinks that this is a possibility?
Oh, yes.
Mom, this poor woman, when she was just thinking about it, she was totally wrecked. And she even thought enough of me to apologize for not showing more concern about everything that I've been going through today.
Oh, we all know that Vicki is a wonderful woman, darling, but it doesn't change the fact that her alternate personality is a dangerous woman who's not only capable of kidnapping, but possibly of murder.
What the hell are you saying here, huh? Now, Vicki Buchanan would sooner die herself than let anything harm that baby.
But we're not talking about Vicki Buchanan, and that is the point.
The point to me is, I know that woman, and there is no way she would ever harm anybody.
Now, look, there is no point in us arguing about this. Now, we've had enough arguing for one day. I better run. I'll see you later, huh?